Come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press to Now Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please take a second to turn off all cell phones, including mine, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joanna, call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
We have Mr. Abbott. I guess you first. We have some items for discussion. Do you have an agenda?
We have lots of items.
Okay, go for it.
Would you turn your microphone on, please?
There goes the microphone. First, let me say that our city clerk survived her baptism of fire under an OFRA lawsuit, and in order to show cause, we had a conference by phone. The court allowed us to do it by phone. And Joanna Casey was found to have properly complied with our OPRA request. That's her first one. Now, these people, they can appeal it or whatever, but we had given them the information. It had to do with the dispatchers. They wanted the information, the dispatcher. And I had Joanna involved and listen. She could hear the argument. She could hear the court. And it's just one of the many duties that a city clerk has to perform, and she came through with flying colors on that one. So congratulations, Joanna. I told you to pack your toothbrush because you never know. You might have had to go, but you did all right. Okay, on our items of discussion, I've been sending you letters and correspondence only because I want to keep everybody in the loop as much as possible. Oak Terrace. You will recall in the past the city had made efforts to try to sell Oak Terrace because the city believed they owned it. It had actually gotten to the point where there was an ordinance passed. We were going to sell it. I believe the opening bid was $10,500. It's actually someone's backyard with no access from a public street. Title report came out that said that the tax foreclosure, which was performed over 40 years ago, was defective. And actually the city of Margate does not own this, I believe it's 30 by 47 foot parcel. That was bad news for the individual who lives there, and that's his actual backyard, and he very much has wanted to have the city sell him that land, but the city doesn't own it. We can't sell what we don't own. Fortunately, we have one of the foremost tax lien experts in the state. I thought he lived in Margate. He actually lives in Northfield. Keith Bonci has taken a look at it and has charted a course whereby the city could, first we have to assess it and come up with a dollar amount, as I wrote in my letter, put a tax lien on. We can assign the tax lien, and Mr. Bonci, on behalf of Mr. Millay, can expend the monies, which he estimates to be $8,000 to $10,000, to find the current owner, the heirs of Mrs. Masterson. She took title in 1931. It's a complicated process. And then go through a series of processes where the city transfers it over. It won't cost the city money. It'll cost Millay. And the end result for the city is we'll get this parcel on the tax rolls again, and he'll own what is basically his backyard that he's using. So if you have any questions on that, ask me. I'm dealing with both Linda and Jim, our tax assessor. Linda's our tax collector. It's a complicated process, but we're owed tax monies on this property, and we're actually owed a good 40 or 50 years worth. What is the value of it? Well, you can't get to the property unless you go on someone's private land because it's landlocked. I'll let the tax assessor figure that one out. Okay? Any questions? Should I move on?
What's your recommendation?
Well, my recommendation is we let Mr. Bonci and I come to an agreement for the city and a resolution whereby we agree, after we've established the amount of taxes and we've set up a tax lien certificate, there's a statutory process. We can assign that certificate for I'd say a nominal consideration and let him run with the ball, let him go to Superior Court, let him do all the air hunting, and finally we'll get that parcel of land on the tax rolls.
So it's your recommendation to
Move forward on it and let Mr.
I'm okay
Bonci
with
do it. And as I say, Bonci is actually the lawyer for the tax collectors, I believe, the whole state, and teaches courses on it. And he just happens to live in our area. As Joanna corrected me, he lives in Northfield. He doesn't live in Margate. I thought he lived in Margate. But he's a local, which it's always great to have an acknowledged expert
Yeah,
be involved.
no decisions being made now, I'm fine with moving.
We'll just move forward. It's not really going to cost us anything. It's going to cost him some money to clear that title. Okay, next step. As you know, we're moving forward with an effort to sell the parcel that fronts on the beach at Quincy and the Beach, and it is the area between the bulkhead and the property line of the first property owner. Mr. Deeney and I had met with Mr. Ben Zeltner on behalf of the property owner. You saw a draft of an agreement and an ordinance. Mr. Zeltner is still looking at this. Is the one where we're going to have it. We're going to have a deed restriction. We don't want to have them make two lots out. He doesn't have enough area for two lots. And the deal would be that we get 130 feet of brand new bulkhead at our current standards, which would include that frontage along Quincy and the Quincy Avenue street end. Now, at this point in time, we've come up with a valuation of a little bit over $400,000. We're using, Ed's not here tonight, but we use a figure of $1,475 per linear foot of bulkhead. That's what the city would basically pay to build that new bulkhead. We let him build the bulkhead and the street end and the handicapped access, including a stairway, and then transfer title once that work's done. We're still working on the deed restriction aspect of it. Their lawyer is. It's kind of complicated. Roger Rubin has also assisted me recently. We looked at it. We're trying to figure out what is the zoning of this parcel. When you look at our map, it's a little difficult. Roger thinks it's government. It probably is. What I'd like to do is move forward with an administrative subdivision, not only for this parcel, but there's about 6 of them between Rumson and Osborne Avenue. There are 6 parcels of city-owned land between the bulkhead and the property line going towards Atlantic, and different property owners to different varying degrees use that city property, but they pay no taxes. The bulkhead there is shot. We've already done this once with Rumson Avenue. We're going to continue forward, but I think, Roger, you helped me out with this one. You felt that maybe we should verify the zoning, make it residential so they can put a pool or a deck or whatever they want to put there, contingent upon them, in part at least, constructing a new bulkhead, which is more in accordance with our efforts to have a bulkhead protect our ocean front. So when you see me send you all that stuff again, I know it's a lot of reading, but it's a complicated topic. And with the assistance of Roger and Mr. Wahlberg, we're going to get to the point where we can transfer title to those parcels and get a good consideration, get a new bulkhead, and get them on the tax rolls. Yes, sir.
Mayor, may I? And in our discussions, we also mentioned deed restriction.
Yes, sir.
So no subdivision can happen where the property would be able to be developed.
You brought that up at our meetings. Roger Rubin has contributed wording, which I think is pretty close on it. Now, their lawyer's looking at it. Of course, you know, the lawyers have to pick it apart a little bit. That's what lawyers do. But I think we're making good progress, and I think we're going to end up getting a nice consideration for the city, new bulkheads, and tax rateable. So that's what I have on that. So when you see all, and I hope you see that, you're getting your ordinances, you're getting the proposed contract, and we're going to amend all that, but it's 98% drafted and done. Okay, next one. We got a request in to vacate a portion of an unimproved roadway, Clarendon Avenue. I sent that to all of you to take a look at. I walked it the other day on a Sunday to see it myself. There's no paving, there's no curbing there, but it's behind a row of homes, and it has been cut And you can see that people, various people, use that for access to the rears of their property. What is your pleasure on this? How would you like me to proceed? You have the letter, right? You saw the request.
Mayor, may I speak?
You may.
There is sidewalk under there, Scott, that was put in by WW2.
Well, I didn't see any, but I believe you.
It's down quite a bit, having property that backs up there. There is sidewalk that was put in at one time.
Okay. Well, whether it is or it isn't, there's no paved road there, but somebody does cut it. I don't know if that's our guys who cut that, or somehow you can drive a truck down there if you wanted to.
The city uses it for fire access.
Joanna, Mayor, may I?
Yeah, sure.
Joanna had brought to my attention is our chief, Chief DeBasso.
Yes.
Are you aware where this parcel is? It's a right, I believe it's a right-of-way. It's a paper street, but would you need it for access for emergency ingress and egress? Meaning if there were fires?
Usually we would, but I need to be reacquainted with it.
Okay.
Okay?
It's the area between, next to Claremont, going back towards Bay Shore Drive. It's part of the area that's been designated, at least in part, as wetlands. I don't know that this is wetlands, but it's wooded.
back there in the past.
And it's a dirt road. It goes from, I think that's Wellington. That road goes out to our electric substation.
Right.
Running back, going towards Bay Shore.
Yes.
Can I make a suggestion? Tony, why don't you make it your business to go over and look at it, and come back with a recommendation at the next...
Absolutely, no problem.
All right, fine.
Okay?
Is that okay with you, Tony?
I have pictures of it here, too. I can
Okay.
show you, but
We do cut it. After the storm.
somebody cuts it.
We do.
Okay.
We do cut it.
No rush.
Yeah, there's no rush. You want to think.
Mayor, can I ask a question? Mayor, Scott, how many lots are involved?
I think the intent is if they vacate this, they'll create an extra buildable lot.
No, but how many lots along
Well,
Claremont?
it's just one individual. from
Just
what I
one
know.
lot?
But how many homes front on Clarendon Avenue? Oh, it's a
Yeah.
bunch of them, Roger.
Okay, so
It's a lot.
we've had this in the past in other areas, where some of the neighbors want it vacated so that they'll get the extra property to use. And some of the other neighbors don't want it vacated because they're using it as access to the back of their properties. And I just wonder if maybe there shouldn't be a poll of all the neighbors that would be affected by this. Do you really want to give up the access? Or do you care if you're giving up the access to get the extra land? And also, who owns the property on the other side of Clarendon, Scott? Is that all city-owned?
I believe it's all city-owned. Well, first off, it's the bed of a street, so it's a dedicated street. If you vacated it, half would go to the adjoining owners. If we own, I'll say the north side or Atlantic City side, it would go to the city of Margate. If somebody else owns them, and there are some that do own them, it would go to them.
So if it's vacated, then half the street goes to the Claremont people?
What's that?
If it's vacated, half the street goes to the Claremont people?
Correct.
The other half adds on to the
That's
city's
right.
own property? Okay.
That's right, that's how it would work. Right down the center of the street,
Okay.
vacated.
But if there are some there may be some out parcels that are privately owned, then it goes to the private owner?
And I believe there might be a couple.
Yeah.
Yes. They would
No,
acquire
I
that.
think the main issue is everybody along that line really interested in doing it, or is just one or two? And will others be unhappy with it?
Right now, it's just this one. That was the only letter I got.
He has you have a valid point, Roger, but until we get an answer from Chief DeBasso, I guess we're in a hold pattern too. So,
Well, you got it, right? You know where it is.
okay?
Mayor, can I just say something? Roger, do you remember several years ago, there was a donation program back there? Does that, now, that may be included, some of those donated properties may be included in this area in question.
Yeah,
So that may have an effect on things.
yeah.
Good point.
Another good countervailing point, I agree.
Okay. Well, I agree with Roger. We should notify everybody back there. Tony, did you have something?
I know what you're talking about.
Just going to ask Johanna if this is the exact property you just sent me information on, and I had no problem with that. when she sent me the information before. I wasn't sure if it was the same
it.
place.
That's it.
Yes. We would not drive a truck back there because it would probably sink. So, as that request stood, I had no problem.
Okay.
Okay?
And that's taken care of. Okay, so you want to notify the people?
Well, you have to give me some direction. What would you like, what do you want to do? You want to consider it further? You want to say no? You want to say, what do you want to do? Think about it if you want.
Yeah, I don't have enough information to really make a decision here. I mean, I would consider moving forward, gathering some more information. Okay. John?
Could you get us, I mean, I guess we can get it ourselves, an answer from the assessor, what would be the change in value?
You're speaking to Mike, what Joanne's trying to tell you.
What the change of value, I get the
Well,
real estate.
If you, normally when you vacate it, it's no consideration, it's an ordinance. You're giving up the street. We don't use the street. Yes, it would add value to those properties, making it a lot bigger. How much, I'm not sure. That's a great question. I'll ask the assessor.
Yeah,
Why don't
I
we
think
do
we
that?
need to know that.
So you move
Thank you.
forward, gathering that information. We'll talk about it again next meeting.
Keep thinking, okay, good. And last but not least, I know I'm talking a lot, just been a lot going on. Our beach case is on for February 4. You're starting to see some of our attorneys' briefs and certifications. They're really working hard on this, and it looks like we're going to go the 4th, which is a Thursday, the 5th is a Friday, and the court has reserved Monday and Tuesday as well, I understand. So put it in your calendars. We're going to be in trial.
Yeah, what are those dates again?
It's Thursday, February 4th, in front of Judge Mendez in Atlantic City,
The 5th.
and I think that's 9 o'clock sharp.
9th, yes.
Friday, February 5, and then I believe he's reserved additional time for additional testimony the following Monday and Tuesday.
The state had requested 2 extra days. I guess he ruled on that.
But turn this on to show this pictures.
Okay, and you got anything else, Scott?
No, that's it, Mayor. I'm good.
What time? 9 a.m.?
9:30.
Well, I believe 9 a.m., yes.
9:30,
And,
I thought, wasn't it?
Jordan is going to work with some of our witnesses. Some of our people are testifying. I know Jimmy Galantino is, I know Ed Wahlberg is. And I make one other point. It was kind of interesting.
Hey, we have a conflict.
Huh?
We have a meeting that day.
Coastal Coalition's on Thursday at 11 o'clock here.
Well, I think
I think this is,
we'll work that out. That's only for an hour and a half. So our trial is on. We're in it.
All right.
okay, cool.
That's it.
Thank you, Scott. At this point, we'll go to department head reports, and we'll start with Fred, because I'm losing him. He's taking her.
I reserve all comments until my attorney's present.
So noted. Maureen?
Municipal court, we're fine.
Roger, welcome.
Thank you, great to be here. I'll pass the gavel on to Roger Rubin, but things are running smoothly.
Can we just, instead, can we just shorten your terminology, and we'll call you 2 and him 1? Okay, 1.
We decided that last
I know.
week.
That's cool.
Several items, Mayor. First, I want to thank Ms. Nanette for a beautiful article. Unfortunately, you took a picture of some old guy for the, I don't know who that was, but it was very much appreciated and beautifully done. I really liked it. Thank you very much. Secondly, we had an excellent meeting 2 days ago with the entire planning board and the master planners, and went around the table for over 2 hours.
Sorry.
And is my time up?
Your time's up, Roger.
And we have a remarkably intelligent and thoughtful planning board, which came up with some great ideas for the master planners, and I think it'll be an exciting master plan. Thirdly, I want to talk about the yard sales. I want to settle the dates today if we can. Where's Commissioner Amadeo? So that I can complete my dump to Roger 2 as quickly as possible. We usually have it on Mother's Day. Mother's Day is...
No, we got away from doing it on Mother's Day because everybody, if you look at it, I think the last year or 2 years, it's not on Mother's Day.
I actually checked, for some reason I checked last year and it was on Mother's Day. I thought we didn't, but it wasn't?
I'm positive.
Okay. Anyhow, Mother's Day this year is May 8th, Sunday, May 8th. So I think we should consider later than that. And if we go 1 week later, why not go 2 weeks later, if it's okay with Frank and everybody else, which takes it to the weekend before Memorial Day weekend, which might be an interesting weekend to have it because don't a lot of people come down to open up houses perhaps that weekend, and there'd be more people in town to partake. So I'd like to get your permission to set that date so that we can start the advertisement process and so forth. Frank, you think this year we should maybe just call it Saturday yard sale, Sunday cleanup? Because last year when we called it Saturday and Sunday sales, Sunday was a washout anyhow.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think switching the date to a later date is fine, too.
Okay.
Especially since it's not going to be on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And even though it's a weekend before Memorial Day, I think it will make it work. It's not a problem.
Okay, good.
All right. You're okay with that then, right? Well, I'm okay with it when Commissioner Amadeo comes back. If he's okay with it, we'll move on, okay? I'm good with it. No, we don't care.
How about your attorney first? And that's about it.
That's it.
Busy as hell.
Thank you, Roger. Johanna?
It happened.
I would like to thank Frank Rochetti and Fred Verna for the lovely job they did with the new office. It looks great. Thank you.
Scott, do you have anything else?
More? You want more from me?
I didn't say I wanted. I asked you if you have any. There's a difference.
No, I think I've done plenty of talking. I'm okay.
Chief Wilson?
I am ecstatic to report that we passed our on-site final evaluation yesterday regarding accreditation. The assessors have indicated that they are going to make the recommendation to the commission to award us accreditation. So there will be a hearing in Princeton at the New Jersey State Chiefs Association Office Commission on accreditation for that, and so it'll be, I believe, the first week in March. So at that point in time, we will be accredited. So it's been a long and arduous journey, and I'm just happy it worked out very well. All that, everything's great.
Thank you, Chief. Lisa?
The only thing I want to mention is just to add to what the chief said, and just so you know, congratulations on becoming accredited, because that's a significant accomplishment and very difficult. But the city will realize an additional monetary benefit from that. Once he receives the final certification, the JIF will reimburse us 50% of the fees for becoming accredited. The MEL level will refund us an additional $1,000 towards the fees, and on top of that, we will also receive, I believe it's a 5% discount off of the MEL statutory excess coverage, which I don't have the dollar amount at the top of my head, but that will be an additional savings that we will realize going forward due to his efforts. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report.
Thank you, Lisa. Frank? Seeing as
2 years ago,
It was a beautiful day today. We were hoping for the same tomorrow, but it don't look that way. But we have been spending the past couple days getting ready for this storm. We're not really worried so much about how much snow as we are about the coastal flooding. We prepared all day today. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be checking our bulkheads and scuppers. We are also handing out sandbags at Public Works. And we have all our snow equipment ready, our tractors, our snow plows, even our little pickups and everything like that. So we are pretty much ready to go. We expect to be here all weekend, and hopefully everything goes fine. We're also going to go to a winter schedule in the Public Works yard and open our yard back up on Sundays. We're going to open it up from 12 to 4 every Sunday until May 1st, and then that's when we'll go into the summer schedule.
It's great. I'm glad they're doing this.
We're also looking into getting new beach receptacles. The mayor asked me to look into a couple things, and we found some domes that would sit actually on the beach that have very large containers, almost 100-gallon containers inside them that you won't even see. And hopefully this can ease up the trash flow. Really, it's recycling flow on the beach. We do not take any trash off the beach. Everything we bring off the beach is totally recycled. So we spend no tipping fees on trash or solid waste, okay, which is very important. So these cans will definitely look a lot better, be a lot bigger. Like I said, you won't even see them. They'll be in an enclosure, probably with Margate logo on them. We also called Video Pipe today, and we are going to get Winchester Avenue videoed from the beginning of the storm drain that connects with Ventnor Gardens that we share with Ventnor, and we're going to actually check out and see the different types of pipes and directions that all our stormwater goes down Winchester Avenue to the new plant in Ventnor. That's all I have.
Thank you, Frank, for all you do. Chief?
Just to add to the storm preparation, the fire department is also preparing, and we'll be ready from our aspect, and it's usually a team effort between the police, fire, and public works. So I know everybody's on board, and I'm glad about that, and that's about it. Dave?
Thank you, Chief.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. As usual, we've made arrangements with 9600 to store the city vehicles, so if any departments have vehicles, tomorrow would be the day to get them over to 9600. We have the fobs to get in, so we'd like to see that so we don't run into another situation like we did with Hurricane Sandy where we lose vehicles.
And Frank, I believe you told me this morning that Union Avenue will be open for parking for...
Yes, it's open now, and it'll be open all weekend.
Okay, cool. Thank you. John, any comment?
No, other than all our residents be prepared. We do believe that it's going to be a major flooding event, although the chief and I had a discussion with Jerry Greenberg today, who attended a county meeting at 1 p.m. with the county emergency management coordinator, Vince Jones, and it appears that the analysis shows that we'll be 1 foot lower than we were with the high tides during the Sandy event. So it's just a caution to all residents in low-lying areas to get their cars out of the areas and be prepared for the flooding. Thank you.
Thank you, John. One comment, Frank mentioned videoing the sewer lines leading to the pump station. As of now, the pump station is complete except for cosmetic things outside. They have to put up a fence and a little bit of greenery, I guess, at which point they will do a test run, then it should be operational, so that is very, very close. At this point, we'll open to public comment, 3 minutes on anything that was discussed today.
I'll bring that up tomorrow.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Just a brief comment to commend Roger One and his brilliant, astute analysis of the yard sale chronologies, and wishing best of good luck back in my hometown.
That was good, John.
Thank you, John. Any other public comment? Is there a motion to adjourn the work session?
So moved.
Second. Joanna?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeus?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?